320, October 4th, T-Mobile, Las Vegas. The champ, Magomed Ankalaev, defends his belt against Alex Pereira. The co-main event for that fight will be...
Last night, Dana White announced some extremely amazing fights in the most dull, pathetic way possible. So let me know what you thought of Dana White's reveal reaction of the UFC 320 fights and the UFC 321 main event, Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. We've known about that fight for a long time, but I'm glad it's finally been announced. I'm glad we finally have a date, and I'm glad the UFC has kind of got moving again. I was really positive about the announcements and happy about the announcements, but what I will say straight off the bat is that was absolutely pathetic from Dana White. The announcement, the lack thereof of energy, he's just reading off a fucking notepad. You know, Tom, he has the quickest average fight time in the UFC, and put some effort into there. We don't even get the "what's up, fight fans" with the low quality 360p fight montages. We don't even get those anymore. It's just Dana White sat on a live. I joined the live right when he started. Dana White was basically on the live looking like he was staring into the void, right? He looked like Tom Hanks' character right before he died in Saving Private Ryan. I don't understand the lack thereof of energy from Dana White. He just didn't seem like he wanted to be there whatsoever. It was so strange. Felt like he really just didn't want to be there. Some people even thought he was ill. That's how depressed he sounded when he was announcing these fights. Just do some promo trailers. Do something insane, because everyone's still hyped at these low-budget lives where there's no effort being put into them, and all the content creators can promote the UFC for them by pushing it out onto the internet. Why not just do something different? A trailer, at least something different. But either way, moving on. We have got Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. I wanted to talk about this one first. It shouldn't be Gane. I want to say that right off the bat. I would have done Jailton Almeida versus Tom Aspinall, or Alexander Volkov versus Tom Aspinall too. Dana White looked Alexander Volkov in the eye, shook his hand, told him that he just got robbed by Ciryl Gane and the judges, and then went, "We're going to take care of you, bud." And then he gave Ciryl Gane the title shot. This is classic Dana White. This is classic UFC. I would have just done Jailton Almeida versus Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane versus Alexander Volkov 3. Why not? 1-on-1 with each other. Let's see who wins the trilogy. Get a concrete #1 contender. Gane just gets infinite title shots because he's the second biggest name in the division. That's it. He just is a big name. Tom Aspinall beat Ciryl Gane pretty comfortably. Everyone's just going to be like, ha, this guy just dominated Ciryl Gane. Who does that to Gane? A lot of people, actually, these days. I'm very excited Tom Aspinall's back. It's a fresh name for Tom Aspinall to beat. It's a bit of a rivalry, so there is that there. It's going to sell well, right? And that's the reason they've given Gane the title shot. I just want to give it Jailton Almeida because I don't want Tom's performance against Gane, if it goes past 2 minutes and 2 seconds, to be overshadowed by Jones fans coming in going, Jones beat him quicker and he's washed. You know, I can't be arsed with that. Styles mate fights. Ciryl Gane will most likely be a lot better than when he fought John Jones. He won't be as terrified of Tom. You know, he's going to be a lot better and he's going to want a point to prove going off his last title performance. But Jones fans will ignore that. Jones fans will ignore that if this fight goes past 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Best part about this fight is, the reason why I do like it, the absolute cope from some Jones fans in my TikTok comments saying, watch when Gane wins. He won't. And if he does, you didn't actually think he's going to win. Stop trying to be one of those fans where it's like you're trying to look like you knew something nobody else knew by picking Ciryl Gane. He's obviously and understandably the massive underdog going into this fight, and Aspinall will beat him. I don't know if he's going to run through him. I actually think in the first round it might be pretty competitive. Just depends how one-dimensional Tom's striking is. Is he just a 1-2 pull counter merchant? Grappling as good as we think it is? It's going to get seen in this fight because Tom is a very intelligent guy. Going off of how he brought down the Alex Pereira fight, not egotistical. He will know that wrestling with Ciryl Gane is the best pathway to victory. Want to show the world a little bit more of his skill set in this fight. So actually might go past the first round. Overall, Tom Aspinall should win this fight comfortably. Just can't be arsed with the Jones fans. After it gets past that 2 minute mark going, here, see, Jones was right, Aspinall was never that good. It's just annoying. That's the only thing I can't be bothered with. But the amount of cope and the amount of like preying on Aspinall's downfall in this fight is hilarious to me. And I can't wait for Tom Aspinall to win. The best heavyweight of all time, we like to call him. Shout out to Prochazka versus Ciryl Rountree. That's unforeseen levels of violence that we love to see on the Benji MMA YouTube channel. Dear God, on a 320 card, Bearing in mind, this is the fight before the co-main event. Mate, oh my God, what an unbelievable card that's shaping out to be. We have not had an unbelievable card this year once. We've had some good cards. We've had some cards that perform better than we thought they would. This card, you know it's going to be a special one. Ciryl Rountree looked phenomenal against Jamal Hill. Prochazka looked phenomenal against Jamal Hill. A lot of guys are starting to look phenomenal against Jamal Hill. Some people really just still don't grasp how good Ciryl Rountree is. Forget about the Dustin Jacoby fight. Forget about all these fights, Anthony Smith, where he struggled. He's hit his peak now, Ciryl Rountree. We all knew the talent was there. We all knew the ability was there. But he looks very, very good at the moment. Against Pereira, he was loading up shots. He gassed out pretty quickly in that fight. Against Jamal Hill, Hill doesn't bring the same level of feints and aggression and counters as Alex Pereira, or just the skill in general. Ciryl was a lot more relaxed under Hill's pressure, stayed composed, picked off Hill's calf, and absolutely destroyed him with his quick burst combinations. Prochazka, on the other hand, man, he's counter-punching better than ever. He learned from the Pereira fights and started mimicking some of Pereira's shoulder rolls into counters. And he looks awesome. His defence is a lot better than usual. He lacks a little bit defensively, keeping his chin in the air, sometimes overextended on shots, leaving himself open for counters. And he is very susceptible to a calf kick. It's orthodox against southpaw. I really believe Ciryl's going to beat Prochazka. Some people don't yet still realise Ciryl Rountree is not the same guy that fought Jacob. He's not the same guy that fought even Anthony Smith. He's a lot better now. He's levelled up since that Pereira fight. He looked good in the Pereira fight, but he's starting to level up, and I think he's really hit his absolute best. Educated Prochazka though, guys. Graduation Yuri might be the new mythical fighter. This guy might be coming in fighting like a professor, a science of fighting, for all we know. Who knows what Prochazka's going to turn up like in this fight? It's going to be an absolute war, and I can't wait for it. I really believe people are going to have to start giving Ciryl Rountree his respect. I like his fighting style. He seems like a chill guy. I like his fighting style. Seems like a chill guy. Two chill guys going in to have a war. They don't need to talk trash. We already know what it is. Next up, we have Ankalaev versus Pereira 2. I don't want to be a hater on this fight. Not that I don't want to see Pereira Ankalaev 2. Ankalaev wanted to fight in June. He wanted to fight this month. And the UFC wouldn't let him because they were dead set on having to rematch Pereira when he's ready. Couldn't Ankalaev have fought in June or July against maybe Ulberg or maybe against Ciryl Rountree instead of Rountree fighting Hill, or just somebody different? Go down the rankings of guys who were ready and who aren't ready. They went Pereira, Yuri, that's it, no one else. If your champion is begging to fight and stay active and get 3 fights in 1 year, let them. Could have just done the Pereira fight later in the year anyway. It's always going to be there. I'm not saying Ankalaev is absolutely guaranteed to beat any contender you put in front of him. If you have a champion, you've got these mid cards, you've got these lack thereof of depth cards. Have Ankalaev saying, put me on the card, put me in June, put me in July, and you're saying no to him. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Let your champions be active. With Alex Pereira, if you didn't have a set #1 contender for him, they were just going down the rankings and picking one out for him and letting him stay active. Ankalaev's biggest criticism in his career that he doesn't fight often enough. So when he's trying to, you're denying him from doing that. Twice in 1 year is not bad, but we could have been 3 times. This time though in this fight, I am going with Magomed Ankalaev. I have Ankalaev to win against Alex Pereira by knockout this time. Pereira is 240 pounds though out of camp. He's preparing for a heavyweight move. Beats Ankalaev. It's Pereira versus Tom Aspinall for the heavyweight championship of the world. Become the first ever 3 division champion in MMA. And that does bring a smile to my face because it does excite me. This fight wasn't super entertaining. Pereira seemed very hesitant, very, very focused on stopping the takedowns of Ankalaev. He's naturally going to have to be a lot more aggressive in this fight, which is just going to open him up for more takedowns. But in the end of the second round, I believe it was, Ankalaev dropped Alex Pereira quite badly with a left overhand. And that was one of the first times Pereira actually tried to up the pace a little bit and tried to get going a little bit more. And Ankalaev dropped him really, really badly. And he had him quite badly hurt. Pereira recovered from it in the later round. But still, Ankalaev's shown he can hurt Pereira. Ankalaev is a very, very good counter-puncher. Pereira's a better striker, a far better striker. But Ankalaev's counter-punching, combined with his good wrestling, I think just using a very well-balanced mixed martial arts approach to beat Alex Pereira is why Ankalaev will beat Alex Pereira. He's the first apart from maybe Jan Blachowicz, true elite level mixed martial artist Alex Pereira's fought that will use an entire skill set to try and beat him. Pereira's going to be more aggressive in this fight, might have a good start to the fight. He'll look for more teeps and front kicks to the body this time, I do believe. And he'll look to just sit down on his shots a little bit more. I think the uppercut will be a big factor for Pereira in this fight. Pereira's just going to have to get Ankalaev thinking early. He didn't really get the left hook going in their first fight. It felt like Ankalaev really prepared for that well. Whenever Pereira tried and go for it, because he overextends with it, because he puts his whole body into it and turns over his hips, he gives his hips. So the solution to that left hook, if you can't defend it on the feet, is go for a takedown. And it just feels like finally in someone in Alex Pereira's career he's facing, whether you find him entertaining or not, whether you like him or not, I personally do. I have no reason not to like Ankalaev. I don't think his fights are as boring as people think, and I don't think he's as boring as people think. I really like Ankalaev's chances in this fight. I'd love for Alex Pereira to win. I'd love for Ankalaev to win. Overall, it doesn't bother me, and I think it should be a pretty good fight this time round. Finally, Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen. I'm very excited. I don't know if it's going to be absolutely entertaining. I think it will be a pretty technical fight. And Merab has levelled up since he last fought. Since he last fought against Sean O'Malley. He has levelled up since that fight. Able to submit Sean O'Malley. I think it's his... Is it his second ever finish in the UFC? I think his first one was a TKO of, was it Marlon Moraes? Doesn't often get finishes, Merab, and he is called the decision machine for a reason. Don't know if he is going to finish Corey Sandhagen, but against Sean O'Malley, it felt like Merab was different in the sense that he was actively looking for the finish. Whenever he got Sean O'Malley to the ground, he was pursuing a finish, and that's just been something that I feel like, I don't know whether it's Merab is not looking to risk chasing a finish. I don't know whether it's he would just wait, see if it opens itself up and then go for it. Otherwise, be safe with your entries, kind of be safe with your transitions on the ground and outwork you and just break you down over the course of 5 rounds. And if the stoppage happens, it happens. I don't know if that's how Merab Dvalishvili views his sort of fights and his performances. He doesn't ever say, I'm going to go out, I'm going to smoke this guy, I'm going to finish this guy. He says, I'm going to break you down, I'm going to break you. You're not going to be able to match my pace. And that is just the ultimate weapon, even against Corey Sandhagen. Corey looked pretty good against Umar Nurmagomedov, a fight he lost. It's clear to see if there is a takedown threat on Corey, he does become a lot more hesitant, whether it was back in the day against Aljamain Sterling, where his grappling wasn't as refined, and Aljamain Sterling easily beat him, one of Aljo's best wins in his careers, a win that has massively aged well over the course of Aljo's career and Corey's career. Corey isn't as creative as he used to be. He used to be so creative. I feel like that creativity has dialed down a little bit, but if he can come in this fight, get Merab thinking early, maybe go for something big early, maybe open up with a flying knee and set the tone for this fight and mix up the pace of the fight, whether it's high pace 1 second, slowing it down and fading the next. Corey's got to be more active than someone like Sean O'Malley was, but I don't think Corey Sandhagen's hands are as good as Sean O'Malley's. I don't think his timing is as good as Sean O'Malley's. He's just a little bit more creative with his feints and his entries, with his kicks, in my opinion. I still think Merab Dvalishvili is going to beat Corey. What an insane, insane win streak Merab Dvalishvili is about to go on, though, if he beats Corey. That is an insane win streak, and it might be, dare I say, the greatest win streak in the history of this sport. Merab's very disrespected. He's the pound-for-pound number 3. He's out there and mops Corey Sandhagen, and let's say he finishes Corey. Might have to have a conversation about who the real pound-for-pound number 1 is. Ilya and Islam are better fighters than Merab because of the championship performances being a little bit more decisive. But if Merab keeps having decisive performances, I don't know, man, a conversation might need to be had. Merab's looking very, very good at the moment. He's getting finishes now. Maybe. He had a great finish over Sean O'Malley. It was a great finish. And O'Malley didn't even look bad in that fight. He fought the wrong game plan, in my opinion. But he didn't look bad whatsoever in that fight. And it's just that pace that Merab Dvalishvili brings is too much for even Corey Sandhagen, in my opinion. But let me know what you think of that fight in the comments. It should be interesting. And it might be another massive win for Merab Dvalishvili. Thank you all very much for watching, everybody. I appreciate you all. Goodbye.